There's one downside, the biggest, maybe the only downside of believing in God and having faith. And this will make your life it will make your life miserable. It will create so much suffering for nothing. And you will make a big mistake if you believe in God in this way. And if you do not believe in God, I think this will still serve you, because it will allow you to see what mistakes you could be making if you were to believe in God. And even if you don't, like, people make this mistake even when they don't believe in God. But when they do believe in God, it takes off a lot of the advantages of believing in God. And I do believe in God, and it served me tremendously, except in the moments that I make this mistake. I'm going to tell you about this, and I'm also going to tell you about how to deal with rejection and how to make sure that you don't keep failing or have a bad life, and how to recover from when you've failed or lacked discipline, and how to go about it to not make bigger mistakes and fail even more and lack even more discipline. If you're new here, my name is Ivaldi Sako. I'm the founder of alreadygrowth.com, and here my goal is to help ambitious entrepreneurs and anyone that really wants to live a great life to do so, and live an awesome life, because I believe life is a lot of suffering, and we might as well make it worth it, right? We might as well just squeeze the juice out of life. And so if this interests you, if you want to succeed, if you want to become truly free and successful, have an awesome life, live a life that you're proud of, I think this podcast will serve you tremendously. So you can just subscribe right now to not forget and miss the next awesome episodes. So let's get into it. This could be the biggest drawback of believing in God. And I noticed this. I'm going to tell you all these things. I'm going to give you like the value of them in a sort of a story, right? And how I got to think about them this week, so they can make sense for you and you can actually learn and implement them into your life. So this week I was talking with let's say a friend. I don't want to disclose who it is, but basically he believes in God, and he has a problem, right? He has a problem in his life, and he's not where he wants to be, and he tried to fix this problem, but he just doesn't seem like he's able to do it. And so I asked him some questions about, okay, did you try this? Did you try that? And his answer is always, I've stopped trying. I just like, I know it's God's plan. It's like, I'm meant to be in this place, in this situation. And, I have faith. I don't care. And I'm like, okay, but you can still do some things about it. And he's like, no, I've already tried everything. It's just like, I just keep my faith in God right now. And every time I suggest that he could do this, that, I stopped, like, I can't do anything about it. And what he's done basically is that he's put responsibility for his situation, for his life, in God. And he just doesn't take any more responsibility. Having faith is extremely useful. Having faith is one of the greatest things you could have. But you still can remain responsible for your life. God gives you a brain and a body to be able to think and actually act, right? Actually do things. And this guy just puts his life in God's hands, except in the wrong way, but not taking responsibility anymore. He thinks that, God is going to give him the solution without him doing anything, right? Well, if I believe in God, I don't need to do anything. No, it doesn't work this way. And you could be making this mistake by not taking responsibility And sometimes you think you are responsible, but you are not really. And I know this for myself as well. Like sometimes I don't know, it's hard to take responsibility because then it's your fault. Then you need to do something about it, and then it's hard. But this is the way to actually solve your problems and have a better life, and I get to the place that you want to get to. I have this sentence that I always, like, I read every morning. This thing. Where you are in life, your current situation is your doing. You built your life and you are solely responsible for your current situation and your future situation. There is no outside force, no person or thing against you. It's all you. So you believe in God. You most likely, if you believe in God, I'm Christian, I believe in Jesus Christ. If you believe in God, you most likely believe in the enemy, in the devil as well, right? It's just the counterforce. And you may think like, oh, it's the devil attacking me. Oh, I'm in God's hands, so I'm protected. I don't need to do anything. And this makes you not do anything. If you don't do anything, I promise you, you won't change your life. Like this guy, just like, I love this guy. I want the best for him. But he just, every time he has a problem, he runs. He just doesn't want to face the problem. And sometimes you have to face the reality. You have to see the truth. It's your doing. It's your fault. Where you are right now, your problem, the place that you live in right now, maybe the room that you're inside of right now, listening to this. Everything is your fault. The people that are around you, everything is your fault. It's your doing. It's you that accepted or did something in the past that led you to this situation. You either did something that led you to this situation, or maybe you didn't do something that led you to stay in the situation. And so if you want to change this, you need to act right now and change the things that you do right now to be able to change your situation in the future. And if you don't take responsibility, you cannot do anything about it because it's not in your power. It's good to believe in God. It's good to put faith, to have faith and to put your life in God's hands while still taking responsibility for where you are. It's not God's fault if you are now here. It's not the devil's fault if you are now here. It's your fault. It's what you did or did not do that led you here. And so you must do something different to be able to change, right? Yes, you need the help of God. Yes, it's great to believe it, to have faith that there's something better waiting for you. But if you don't do nothing about it, it's not going to change. And so you need this taking responsibility will allow you to, it will give back your power to you. Right now you're giving your power to God. Cool, that's great. But you still need to do something, right? You're just giving all your power to God. God gave you power as well. God gave you the ability to do some things in your life. No matter how small they are, just do things, move, make progress, go somewhere, do something. If you don't, nothing's gonna change. And this person just has a lot of trouble that he doesn't want. It's because it's really painful. He's in a situation that he just really doesn't like. He's suffering a lot, and if he takes responsibility, it's going to be painful. It's my fault. I do things. I've already tried all these things. What should I try next? It's hard, but it's necessary. And I'm telling you this like this because I'm just kind of I love this guy. I want to help him as much. I can't do anything for him because he doesn't take responsibility. You need to take responsibility for where you are right now. Is your fault and nobody else's. No circumstance or whatever. You can do something about it. You can choose how you react, right? the devil puts you in a bad situation, you can choose how to react. It's your responsibility to know how to act. Oh, the devil tempted me. I couldn't do anything about it. Oh, the devil tempted me. This pastry came in front of me. I cannot do anything about it. It's not my responsibility. God wants me to do this, I guess. I guess if the circumstances right now in my life are like this, I guess it's meant to be. It's not meant to be. It's your responsibility to still choose. You have, between, there was the sentence that I heard this week. I don't know from who, but this sentence is from a book. I don't remember it exactly, but it's between stimulus and response. Man has the freedom to choose, right? And so between what happens to you externally and how you act, how you behave, you have the freedom that God has given you to choose and to act the way you want, the way you think it will help you out, right? It's just, if you relinquish control totally, fully, yes, you're going to feel better. Maybe. But your life is going to be worse. Believe in God, believe that He can help you do the right things. If you don't, nothing's going to change. So yeah, this was the first thing. Take responsibility. If you don't, nobody can do nothing for you. Now, the next thing is, I was listening to, this is about how to deal with rejection, because if you want to go to some place, at one point in life, you're going to deal with the rejection. And if you want to be successful in business, for example, you want to have the ability to deal with rejection so many times without it even phasing you. If you make calls and you get rejected, you hear no, back-to-back no's, and people maybe think you're not good enough. We have this thing in our mind. It's a bias. It's a psychological bias that we generalize things. So, for example, something small happened to you. Maybe someone in your life insults you and tells you, "Oh, you're not good. I hate that you do this," right? And sometimes you can generalize this and take this and understand, oh, this person hates me. No, this person, she or he hates this thing that you did, not you, right? But you will oftentimes generalize and think, oh, she hates me. You will understand it in this way, and so you will react to that. And so in life, rejection, you can also generalize this rejection. Someone will reject you. You'll think, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm just. No, they just didn't want to do this deal with you, right? They told you no on this thing. This doesn't mean that you are not good enough. This doesn't mean that you are a bad person. You associate meaning to things. Life is just basically how you, the story that you tell, the story that you understand, the meaning that you associate to this thing that happened. And so I listened to the Ed Mylett podcast with a woman, a billionaire. At least she sold her company for $1 billion. So she's not, most likely she's not a billionaire yet, but she sold her company for $1 billion. And she's her name is Jamie. I don't remember her full name, but I think her name is Jamie. She was talking about not feeling enough and how to deal with rejection. And the way she talked about it is that you need to first recognize what meaning you give to this rejection, right? What is the first thought that comes to you once you have this response from people that reject you? People tell you, oh, if you go ask the number of a girl, right? and she tells you no, what's the immediate thought that comes in your mind? If you go for a sale and people will tell you no, what's the immediate thought? The immediate thoughts that come into your brain when you realize what you're thinking immediately after that. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, this doesn't work, and you will generalize. For example, some prospect gives you on a call, someone gives you the objection like, it's way too, it costs way too much. Like the price is way too high. If you believe them, like you will generalize this. You will think, I guess everyone thinks that this is the case. I guess this is the truth. And you will change things up based on this one rejection that you dealt with. And also, when you feel bad after rejection, and you feel, I'm not good enough, and it's just really painful, you will not want to do the action that you did that got you rejected. So you must absolutely take this feedback and turn it into a positive thing. And so every time you get rejected, because you need a lot of rejections to succeed in life, you need a lot of rejections and a lot of failures to basically keep going and actually get to your goal. Because of this, you want to be able to repeat this action. Every time you repeat this action and you feel bad, you're most likely not going to want to repeat this action. And so you must change the meaning of what it means to be rejected. Change the meaning that you give to this. And so one of the meaning that this woman gives, and I started giving a year ago, I was started to believe and to really see that this is the case actually. Rejection is God's protection. And I want you to repeat that in your mind. Rejection is God's protection. And I promise you, this is so true because I've experienced it so many times. Every time that I was trying to sell someone on our service and they reject. They reject me, they don't want to, and they say no. And for this or this reason, and they sometimes insult me or anything like that, like they're just mad at me. It's been one of the best things that happened, because if I were to do this, they would have become such nightmares of clients. It will be a nightmare for me to work with them. And it was like God protecting me. And so every time I'm rejected, I feel like it's God's protection. I know I'm happy. I'm grateful. Good. Because every step that you take, every failure that you go through gets you actually closer to your goal. So this is one of the other meanings that you could also give to failure and to rejection. Failure is one step closer to my goal. There's one failure, one less failure that I need to go through to achieve my goal. One less thing that I need to do to get to my goal. Rejection is God's protection. And so you associate this new meaning and you make it feel good to do this action. Because if you have a positive reinforcement to do an action, you will do more of this action. But if you have negative reinforcement to do sales calls, you will do less sales calls. And so if you want to succeed, you need to do more, not less. So this was the third thing. And the second thing on rejection. Now the third thing, it's this overgeneralization. This generalization. Forgive my English. I'm French. When you go through something that you don't like, something that you don't like, or maybe do like, you oftentimes just generalize. We have this bias. I just told you about it, and this bias can make you fail and make you get yourself in a worse situation that you already got yourself in. Why? So, for example, let's say you started lacking on you just lost your discipline and you started to settle for you had dessert, right? And you're not supposed to have dessert, and you had dessert. You just broke your rule, and you did some bad and negative choice that will make your life, worse on long term. And you just took this instant gratification, for example. You went to eat out when you should have eaten something clean. And at this point you realize, okay, I failed. It's painful. And at this point you're going to generalize and think, I already failed. I guess I'll fail a little bit more. It doesn't really matter now, right? I already watched one episode. I can just watch another one. It doesn't really matter, right? But if you, this happens really subtly. It's something in your unconscious mind almost. At least for me it is. It's like it happens so quickly. And most often when you fail and when you do something that you shouldn't do, you are depleted a little bit of your willpower, right? You didn't do this on purpose, right? You did it because you couldn't have summon the will to actually do the right thing. And so when you have failed a little bit, you tend to just let go of any control and just go a little further than you should in the failure, in the wrong path. And when you do that, you make yourself go more in the direction, more in the bad. And so there's a scale. Right now you were let's say you were at 0, right? You were neutral. And so you do positive actions, you go +1, +2, +3, right, on the scale. And if you did the bad action, okay, you're at 0, you -1. And so it's not because you are at -1 that it's worth going at -9, right? But we still do. And I know I did this week. I ate a little bit of sugar because I was at a birthday. I was at a restaurant for a birthday and I ate dessert. And I let go a little bit. I was like, it's okay, once in a while, come on. I never go to the restaurant. And I let go of this and I was like, well, is it really going to change if I take another one? It's not a problem. And then I went down further and further. And it's not because you lost one battle that it's worth losing the war. And so basically, if you let this generalization of you failed a little bit, you might as well fail a little bit more. You're putting yourself at risk of losing the entire war, and most likely you will if you keep going this way. And so you must realize in this moment, what I did right now, I lost one battle. The next battle, I'm going to win this battle. And so I'm going to win the war. Because if I don't, I'm going to have way worse negative consequences than I already have right now, right? And so it's really worth it. It's really, really worth it to stop right now and cut the losses, right? And at one point when I was younger, I was trading. And there's a concept in trading when the value of a stock goes under a certain level, you must cut losses, right? So you don't want to lose more than, I don't know, if you don't want to lose more than $1,000 on this, and so you cut the losses. So if the value goes to at a certain number and you lose $1,000, you cut the losses here, and so you better cut the losses here than lose the $10,000 that you invested, right? But oftentimes when we fail in these things, that it's just not number based, right? It's a little more, it's not as sharp and obvious, right? It's a little bit more blurry. The line is blurry. You don't know. If I eat a little bit, one little more chocolate, is it going to do anything? No, it's not going to do anything. And so you do it, and so every time you do something, you have another bias, which is the consistency bias. And so you view, because you failed once, you view yourself more as this kind of person that is going to fail more. And so you are more likely to fail more. And every time you do this action, you reinforce this identity in your mind. Okay, I guess I'm the type of person that fails even more. And so you do more of this. And so one thing that Ed Milet said one time, I heard him say, it's like when you do bad behavior, where you ate this dessert and you shouldn't have. What you need to reframe this in your mind and not think, oh, I guess I'm this type of person. You think, oh, that's weird. This is not like me. And so when you just separate yourself from this behavior and you stop there to not lose the entire war over this little battle. You lost the battle, don't let yourself lose 2, 3, or 4. Because if you do, you will lose the war. And next thing you know, in 10 years, you're absolutely not where you wanted to be, and you're in the worst situation in your life, and you created your worst nightmare. And this could go very fast. It goes actually exponentially fast. The more action you take it towards something, it creates a feedback loop. And so you do one thing, you will do more of this thing, and therefore you will do even more of this thing, and it just completely shifts your life in it can go very fast. And so you must cut the losses quick. Okay, you did something wrong, cut it right now. Don't do more, right? It's not worth it. Now, to not even put yourself into this situation, it's better, right? To not even eat one chocolate, it's better because it will make it easier for you to not eat a lot more, and it's easier to not do the thing than to stop once you did it. And this is because of the bias, right? Because of the temptation, it's just much higher. You feel the pleasure of eating this chocolate. Oh, I need more. And so the best thing to do is just to not... Prevention is better than cure, right? So prevent yourself from being in this kind of scenarios. The way you can do this is just by controlling your environment. Okay, don't make sure you don't go around, people that will drink alcohol. If you know you're addicted to alcohol and you go around people that are addicted to alcohol when you are tired, it's going to increase the likelihood of you failing and getting back and being addicted again. And there was this thing called the HALT framework. I talked about it, I believe, in the last episode. But basically, it's something that to stop or prevent any addiction. Listen carefully. HALT. 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 Never get too. Well, actually, I don't remember what it is. HALT. The first H. Never get too hungry. Right. This is the thing. Never get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. Because when you are in these states, you increase so much more the likelihood of you failing, right? If you don't get too hungry, if you're just really satisfied and you're not hungry, right? You're most likely not going to eat that chocolate, right? The temptation is really low because you're satisfied. But if you let yourself be around this great desserts when you're really hungry and you just really want it, you are biologically programmed to actually survive and eat this chocolate because it's going to help you not die. Because when you're so hungry, you haven't eaten for 18 hours and there's chocolate around you, you're a lot more likely to eat it than when you just have eaten. And angry, if you get too angry, you're going to do stupid things, right? And so you're going to go for that drink. If you're too lonely, you're going to feel bad and you're going to have this need of feeling better, right? And so maybe do something that you shouldn't do. And when you're too tired, you're depleted of will. And if you're too tired, you're not going to make the right choices. And so, yeah, this was a great framework that was extremely useful. Remember, take responsibility, right? Don't overgeneralize and give the right meaning to the rejections that you have. And the last thing, don't lose the war over a battle that you lost. You better lose one battle, not two, not three, to win actually the war. Hope this episode served you. If it did, please share it with someone. I think this could help people tremendously. I guess you had a lot of value from this, so I guess share it if you did, like it, and subscribe if you want to not miss the next episode, which is going to be tremendously useful. Bye-bye. Take care.